Fiddle Mates! Welcome to the 5th and final edition.
Let's see what's happening next door.
We are on the 5th section for this evening's harvest and reset of 2 full farms. So we've been traversing back and forth between 2 baskets, light harvesting, going through it, letting the worms bake themselves in, and then refilling the baskets and going through those. So this has been really just a 2 or 3 hours, and we have completed, well, by the end of this we will have completed the harvest of the castings and the reset, putting the worms into new bedding. Well, that was a quick peek at the castings basket that's full again. Because I had let this basket sit for a while with a little more patience, we're getting some really big handfuls that are worm-free. Work that top layer a little bit. I love this spongy texture. It's almost just a bit bouncy and resilient. Sometimes I work more quickly than others. I'm working on trying to get some really big handfuls to go through. This material is so nice. You can just pick up a great big handful and it looks like it's virtually worm-free. I could have been more efficient by coming to this basket a little bit quicker. The tea method has been evolving for almost 2 years now. But I have to say that going through this material like this is really just pleasant because it's got such a great texture, and though I'm still a bit obsessive, it's great to grab a big handful and not find any worms in there. Baiting in can be used for so many different applications, even from taking some material from a working bin and putting it into a newer bin so that you increase your working activity while cocoons are hatching out in the original bin. So what I'm doing now is grabbing handfuls from that larger basket that has the smaller holes. And I've caught some plastic, working through that, and with each handful I've got a little bit more wiggle room to look for worms in there. So I'm just grabbing handful by handful. As I grab handfuls from the more shallow areas, we see the little worms and we can watch how the little squigglers go down. Sometimes it's kind of fun. Get to look at this material, and as the worms descend we can see that it's worm-free, even though it had all those little wormies in it. At this point the farms are completely harvested, but for the little bit that's still left in that basket, so I'm kind of sharing the effort, bringing some from the other basket to harvest it over here. This baiting in, downward migration, plucking, light harvesting method is so much about efficiency, so we do everything we can to make this go as quickly as possible and as easily as possible. This can be used in small to medium farms. Now I can just take the rest of what is in that larger basket and just dip it in and kind of knock it out a little bit. So that larger basket with those smaller holes is now finished, and all I have to do is take a look at all this, make sure there's no worms in there, put this material in the castings bin, and now I'm done. Pushing the castings gently up through the grids, gently, and I can also add those right to the castings bin, and this is how you clean the grates while they're still nice and moist. So this evening we have completed 2 full, very large farms. They are reset and bedded in 5 parts.
Okay, and you got one more. Very, well, it's about half full, but it's very heavy. Pot of castings. So we'll let these mature.
Time to wind it up. Fluff up their bedding a little bit, see how much material there is, and plan for the next project for the other bins starting tomorrow. I do love starting out with a whole lot of bedding in a farm.
My plan in making up all this bedding was to do a bunch of baiting in, since I have several bins, or at least as ready to be baited in. Thanks for hanging out, and we will continue this. Maybe even less light out.
Thanks for hanging with me through this whole process.